Hello kids. Now you are going to learn the fifth chapter of your textbook. The lesson is compounds and mixtures. This lesson is allocated for the first term. In chapter 4, you learned about how elements are made up of atoms of the same kind and the first 20 elements in the periodic table. In this chapter, you are learning how elements can come together to form the compounds and how the mixtures are formed. You can refer this lesson from page number 42 to 53. After doing this lesson, you will have the ability to identify and to list down the characteristics of elements. You should have the ability to carry out an experiment to examine the final products when elements are burnt. And you will have the ability to explain the characteristics of mixtures. You will have the ability to understand the difference between mixtures and compounds. And you should be able to describe the different types of mixtures. And you should have the understanding to explain the separation of mixtures. In this slide, you are learning about elements. An element cannot be broken down into smaller substances. They are made of atoms. The word atoms derived from Greek language. Earlier, it was known as atomos. The meaning atomos was cannot be further divided. So, John Dalton, he was a scientist. He was the one who introduced this atom and he told that all the elements are made up of atoms. So you can see three types of elements here which are made up of same kind of atoms in them. You can see sulfur, it's a yellow color powder, and you can see magnesium, it is there as a strip. You can see iron, it is there as a powder. Sulfur is made out of sulfur element, sulfur atoms. Magnesium is made out of magnesium atoms. Iron is made out of iron atoms. So, these elements are having their own kind of atom. It means they are made up of atoms of the same kind. They are there in different status in the room temperature. This sulfur, magnesium, iron, they are there as the solids. You know, mercury is a liquid in room temperature. Oxygen is a gas in room temperature. Like that, these can be existed in different status in the room temperature. Now we are going to learn about compounds. A compound is made up of two or more different types of elements when they are chemically combined. So, to make a compound, there should be a chemical reaction. You know, burning is a chemical reaction. So, when we burn this magnesium with oxygen, there may be a chemical reaction. When we burn magnesium strip in oxygen, something new is formed. When we burn something, there may be new attraction powers in between them. There may be new types of bonds in between them. You know, magnesium is a silver color solid, oxygen is a colorless gas. When we burn them together, a new type of attraction power is generated. There are chemical bonds in between them. By that, a new compound is formed. It is known as magnesium oxide. Magnesium oxide is completely different from earlier two things, from magnesium and oxygen. Magnesium oxide is a white solid. Here you can write the word equation also. Magnesium plus oxygen. What was the result? Magnesium oxide. Next we are going to check what will happen when burn iron and sulfur together. you can see iron is a grey solid and sulfur is a yellow color solid. By burning these two together, completely different something has made. It has a different physical appearance rather than iron or sulfur. It is dark grey or black solid. So here, next you can see the particle arrangement of iron sulfide when they are burned together. Here you can see there are 9 iron atoms and there are 9 sulfur atoms. In the final mixture also, in the final diagram also, in iron sulfide there are 19. It means during a chemical reaction, the atoms are not created and the atoms are not destroyed. This is known as law of conservation. It means the atoms are not created or destroyed during a chemical reaction. So the total mass of reactants will be equal to the total mass of products in a chemical reaction. Next we will see what are mixtures. A mixture is made up of two or more elements or compounds that are not chemically combined. A mixture is made up of two or more elements or compounds that are not chemically combined. So here in the table you can see different types of mixtures. They are categorized under 4 main categories: solid mixtures, solid liquid mixtures, liquid mixtures, liquid gas mixtures, and gas mixtures. First one, solid mixtures. So the example is steel. Steel made up of iron and carbon. When iron and carbon together, steel is made of. The next one, solid liquid mixture. The examples, there are 2. First one, a suspension is there, sand plus water, and a solution is made. How? When we add sugar into water, sugar solution is made. The suspension is a mixture, but that is not equal throughout the solution. But when we mix sugar into water, it is making an equal solution throughout the equal composition throughout the solution. Third one, liquid mixture. The first one is oil plus water. Oil is not dissolved in water, but it is also a mixture. Second one, vinegar, producing vinegar. For this, ethanoic acid and water needed. Ethanoic acid plus water, the mixture is vinegar. Next one, liquid plus gas, liquid gas mixture. The example, best example is soda drink. Carbon dioxide gas plus sweetened liquid make liquid gas mixture. Last one, gas mixture. Air is the best example for that. Air is a mixture of so many gases. Dear kids, you know the most common type of mixture is the solution. So, there are 2 things which are connected to make the solution. They are solute and solvent. Always a solute is dissolved in a solvent. Here I have given you an example. Sugar is there, water is there. Both of them are together to make sugar solution. Here sugar acts as the solute. Sugar is the thing which we are adding together with water. Water is the solvent. Both of them are together to make the sugar solution. Now we will see how the mixtures can be separated using the physical methods. Look at the first one. Separate solid mixtures. Here easily we can use a bar magnet to separate. If one solid is magnetic, that part can be taken out by using a bar magnet. The Best example is when iron fillings are with sulfur powder, we can use a bar magnet to separate iron fillings from the mixture. Second one, separate solid liquid mixtures. You can see decanting. First, here the large solid particles are there. They do not dissolve in water and they are collecting at the bottom of the mixture. So the liquid is decanted by pouring it out of the container. Look at the second one, that is known as filtration. You know there are filter papers in the science laboratory. They can be used to do this experiment. Here, to separate insoluble solids from a liquid mixture, we can do this experiment. Here the filter paper is behaving like a sieve. So the liquid can pass through the filter paper but not the solid. Solid is remaining in the filter paper. That is known as residue. And the liquid collected in the conical flask, it is known as filtrate. Okay, now we will learn how to separate a solute from a solution. So we know to obtain the solute from the solvent, we should do heating. The first thing is evaporation and crystallization. We'll see what is evaporation. Just think about a salt solution. When we dissolve some amount of salt in water, we can prepare a salt solution. To get salt back from the salt solution, we should heat it. So by heating, we can remove excess water. So for a solute that does not break down upon heating, we can heat the solution directly over a flame until all water is removed. This is known as evaporation. The other example is sugar solution. After removing water, the solution is then left to cool and allowing the solute to be crystallized. That's how sugar can be separated from the sugar solution. That is known as crystallization. Next one, separating solvent from a solution. This is known as simple distillation. To separate the mixtures, like when there are two liquids together, this thing is used. The best example is an alcohol solution. Here you can see the thermometer is there, and boiling chips are there, and cooling water in and cooling water out, and condenser can be seen, and distillate is collected. Here when the solvent in the solution O1O of the liquids in the mixture reaches its boiling point, it is vaporizing. It turns into vapor. The hot vapor flows through this condenser and cool water from the tap flows through the condenser and removes the heat from the hot vapor. Then the hot vapor then condenses to form liquid and collected in the beaker. So the liquid collected in the beaker in this manner is known as the distillate. Okay, now we will see how to separate the various solutes dissolved in a solvent. Just think, dyes and inks are mixed with water and there's no any way to separate them. So what can we do? To get the support in such an occasion, we are having this method called paper chromatography. Here, the color components in the black ink will separate as the ink dissolves in the water. Ink is dissolving in water, so the color components in the black ink will separate ink. Then components which are more soluble in the solvent will travel faster and furtherly traveling away from the baseline on the chromatography paper. After all the components have separated from each other, the paper is there with so many colors and it is known as the chromatogram. So Puta, this is the end of our chapter. So you can do end of chapter question in page number 52, and you can see further the summary in page number 53. Okay, this is the time to check your knowledge. So look at the following word equation. Aluminium plus iodine, they make aluminium oxide. So you need to identify the reactants and products there. And you need to name the elements in this reaction. And is the product formed a mixture or a compound? For that also you need to give the answer as yes or no, and you need to explain your answer. Number 2. What physical methods can be used to obtain a clean and dry sample of sugar from a mixture of sand and sugar? Outline the steps to be taken in order. Please try these two questions and check your knowledge. So Pute, I hope that you all have understood the lesson very well. I have added some YouTube links. Here you can refer these YouTube links for more details about the lesson. So please study very well and stay safe. Hope to meet you in another video soon. Thank you very much.